Priyanka Chopra was spotted arriving at John F. Kennedy International Airport on Wednesday following backlash for her participation in the new reality television show, The Activist. The 39-year-old actress rocked a leopard print Christian Dior windbreaker with leggings as she was escorted through the terminal to a waiting vehicle. Soon after she was announced as a host of the upcoming show alongside Julianne Hough and Usher, social media lit up with commentary and ripped the premise to shreds for being performative in light of real activism throughout the country. Priyanka hid her eyes underneath the brim of a New York Yankees hat and stayed safe wearing a face mask as she wheeled luggage by her side. Twitter users settled in to rip the CBS series to shreds for its premise last week, which many found distasteful. According to Deadline, The Activist is a competitive reality series in which 6 activists will be joined by 3 public figures to make significant changes to environmental issues, healthcare and education. But rather than measuring a meaningful change, the winner of the competition will be determined based on online engagement, social metrics, and hosts' input. The teams will have the chance to go to Rome for the upcoming G20 summit, and whichever group can get the biggest funding commitment from diplomats at the summit will be crowned the winner in a ceremony featuring musical performances. Some Twitter users were instantly reminded of the infamous and ill-fated Pepsi ad starring Kendall Jenner, in which she appeared to resolve an unspecified protest by handing a police officer a can of Pepsi. At the time, viewers criticized the advertisement for diminishing the importance of the Black Lives Matter movement and misrepresenting the reality of racial justice protests around the U.S. One Twitter user posted a still of Jenner delivering her Pepsi and mockingly captioned wrote, "I go on the Activist reality show and do this and everyone including the judges are screaming and crying." Others singled out the judges and their past behavior as reasons for why The Activist was misguided. Chopra has previously been criticized for her support of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has embraced Hindu nationalism and right-wing populism. In 2019, she was publicly called out at BeautyCon for a tweet supporting India's military among rising tensions with neighbouring Pakistan. The same Priyanka Chopra who told a Pakistani activist to stop vending? Okay, mused one user. Other Twitter users criticized co-host Julianne Hough, who was previously embroiled in her own racism scandal. In 2013, she dressed up for Halloween as Orange is the New Black character Crazy Eyes. The character was portrayed on the Netflix series by Uzo Aduba, who is black. As part of her costume, Julianne dressed up in orange scrubs to approximate a prison uniform and wore blackface. The Activist and This Is Dead, one of the hosts, wrote one shocked user who posted Howe's blackface photos. The dancer and actress later apologized for the offensive display. "Heard you say that the show was performative, promoted pseudo-activism over real activism, felt tone-deaf, and that the hosts weren't qualified to assess activism, because we are celebrities and not activists," she wrote. "I do not claim to be an activist and wholeheartedly agree that the judging aspect of the show missed the mark, and furthermore, that I am not qualified to act as a judge." Some users took a more serious approach with their complaints. "Dear activist risking your life challenging war criminals, we are sorry to let you know that you didn't get enough likes to survive the completion," complained one person. "Usher didn't cry when you presented your tragedy either. So you can die in prison silently, or shouting in the Mediterranean." Another wrote, "As activists are jailed, maimed and killed around the world, this is grotesque." One person combined complaints about the series with a dig at Chopra. Like using activism as a competition where it is funneled into social media influence is absolutely abhorrent and completely dilutes the importance and impacts of organizing and grassroots efforts. Sick, but also remember when Priyanka Chopra asked an activist if she was done vending. Fatima Buddha wrote that, "The good news is that no actual activists would be caught dead on this show." Jamil wondered why CBS couldn't just make a donation instead of wasting money on the reality show. Couldn't they just give the money it's going to take to pay this unbelievably expensive talent and make this show, directly to activist causes? Rather than turning activism into a game and then giving a fraction of the much-needed money away in a prize. She added bluntly, "People are dying. Others just delighted in seeing the pile-on." "It's nice to see Twitter united over how despicable the activist Hunger Games are," one social media user wrote. The TV writer Brody Gupta managed to tie in the controversy over the activist to Jeopardy's recent hosting snafu. "You guys aren't gonna believe who CBS got to host the activist show," she joked while posting a photo of Mike Richards, the Jeopardy! Producer who briefly won the job of host before being fired from both his roles over recently resurfaced offensive comments.